Wowie zowie. Welcome back to CCTV. That's Content Cat Television. Starring Content Cat. Live from Echo Park, California. In direct sunlight. I'm not sure any of us were really anticipating. But here we are, sitting on a couch. It's kind of nice. It's been very rainy lately, so now it's like, would you like some intense sunlight?
We're here with, of course, special guest Alec, who is
first time appearance on CCTV.
He's appeared in just about every single thing possible on this channel at this point. Really, if we're just running you dry.
Yeah.
Also, Brett is here. He wasn't here last week. He came back from
Japan. A lot has happened in 2 weeks.
Yeah, can't wait to hear all about it, dude.
Yeah, look what happened in the last 2 weeks. I stabbed my finger on my blender
It's always
blade.
about you, isn't it?
Whoa.
Look at that, dude.
How did I not notice that? I didn't even see that.
It's okay.
Did you put your finger in a blender?
I was cleaning the blender and I slipped with the thing and it's impaled on one of the upward facing blades.
Jesus. We also got your boy Tony here. He's on deck. I thought you'd have a microphone on you at some point. You don't have a microphone? Okay.
Why would you think that?
I just thought he was on the podcast.
Why would you think that?
Just the conversation that flowed earlier today. I thought that he was gonna. What are you pointing at?
I feel like usually if they're on the podcast, you'd be sitting in front of the camera.
I guess, but the couch, because I thought that's why he was sitting there, because of the shade.
Oh, interesting. It was a defensive position.
Okay. No, he's just working on our audio.
Working on our audio.
Sweet.
Gosh, we have so much to dive into today, but I just like to kick things off by saying, hey, MeUndies, thanks for still sponsoring CCTV.
Yeah.
Guess what? Guess what I got on my sweaty balls right now? It's a fresh pair of MeUndies.
Nice, dude.
Doodle on it.
Yeah, it does. From a famous artist. This is some art design right here, baby. I won't bore you with the details right now, but listen, MeUndies, hey, baby. Ask yourself one very important question. Is your underwear making you happy at this very moment? I'm pretty content.
Could be better.
Yeah, well, here's your, I got you some MeUndies now. No, it's not my fault. Because BuzzFeed said this about MeUndies. They feel like actual heaven against your skin. We're going to assume heaven is really soft in this context. Ask Men said they feel like silk drenched in hand lotion. Which to me is kind of a gross thing to picture. Like drenched in hand lotion? I don't know. They're nice, but not in an uncomfortable way. MeUndies uses the coveted micromodal fabric, which is a full 3 times softer than cotton. Take that, big cotton. Not only will you feel like your loins are being hugged by joy itself, but MeUndies gives you multiple style options for both men and women. You can choose between classic colors to adventurous prints like the ones I'm wearing, prints like significant otters, plant babies, and shamrocks if you're feeling festive. St. Patrick's Day just happened. You could have not got pinched by a leprechaun with your MeUndies. Speaking of prints, why not match your bottom half with your better half and get matching prints for you and your partner? MeUndies are also the go-to for the softest loungewear on this side of the Mississippi. Hang out in their super comfy lounge pants and onesies. Yes, MeUndies makes onesies and they are incredible. MeUndies has a great offer for our listeners here on CCTV for any first-time purchasers. When you order MeUndies, you get 15% off and free shipping. It's a no-brainer. 15% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you'll ever put on. And free shipping, why not? To get 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and that 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/CCTV. That's MeUndies.com/CCTV. MeUndies are great. I've replaced all the underwear in my underwear drawer with MeUndies. I literally don't even wear any of my old pairs. They're super comfy, they're fun, they're great. And when you got to start a rough day where you got to go on a podcast and anticipate all the fun things you could talk about, at least you got some slick undies. So thank you, MeUndies, and thank you for continuing to help us pay the bills.
These sponsors, they're paying the bills, dude.
Wowee.
They pay those sweet, send it off bills, you know what I mean? That utility check comes in the mail, goes straight to the MeUndies Corporation, they sign it off. I
send them a list.
They say, okay, guys, it's a lot of money you spend on electricity this month. Really start managing that better. And they're like, thank you, MeUndies.
I'm like, well, actually, the hot water heater is hooked up to an underserved voltage thing, and it can't heat the water properly. So we haven't had hot water in our warehouse for the last 3 months, and we don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get a shower in there. Talking about that for 3 years.
It's a garden hose, my dude.
Jesus
That's about as good as it gets.
I'm not like a farm animal. You can just hose me off.
I just don't know what to tell you. It's kind of a farm animal kind of situation, I think.
Look, okay, listen. So yesterday, this
Tuesday.
Okay, just give me a second. Before you, this CCTV is currently filmed in advance. Obviously, we film a lot of stuff beforehand. So this video is technically going up a week before, or recorded a week before whatever happened yesterday. Does that make sense? So this video is now going up on Tuesday, but we recorded it on last Wednesday, just for some context. So
It's going up on Wednesday. It's not
Is it going up on Wednesday?
It always goes up on Wednesday.
Okay,
Today
sorry.
is March 13th. For anybody curious, it's March 13th.
The
Easy
last
way to- Okay,
podcast you
probably would've
recorded.
been, that would
Yeah.
probably would have been an easier way to say that.
I'm just here to help,
I'm
man.
gonna let you guide this though. I feel like you're onto something. So with that in
I feel like
mind,
that demoralized me more. You saying
was
that.
giving you.
Yeah, no, I don't really know what would have transpired in the last 2 days, other than James made a video where he is taking a leave from the channel. Obviously, I did a follow-up with that, and whatever was in the comment section, I haven't had any time to read because, again, this is filmed in advance. So it's kind of hard to talk about what's going to happen in the future, which is why I think we'll just dedicate this podcast to what my goals are and what your guys' ambitions are going forward this next year, assuming that nothing crazy has happened since the past 2 days that the video got announced, and my plans haven't drastically changed in a week. So yeah, I thought that'd be cool. I see you're wearing the Olos. That's a good throwback right there, my
Thank
dude.
you. This is a nice throw up. Still got those stealth Olos on from classic house era. That's like first month content, dude.
Yeah, that was me and James. It's one of our first sponsors. Him and I got together right there.
Some things stand the test of time.
You're just throwing it back.
You're gonna get lost in your reveries
okay?
for a little bit.
I didn't really plan out a whole lot for this podcast.
No, I thought I was
can't
gonna
plan
have
out
to
for
talk
your-
about Reddit, but it turns out I was saved
It'd
by
be
the
good
bell.
if you don't talk about Reddit.
Why? So you can get on there and
for
read all
what
the
it's
comments? I know you've been very active in the subreddit community, I'm sure.
Listen, now don't lump me in with what you're doing here.
Which is
because-
what?
Okay.
All right, take your time in the spotlight.
Okay.
Go ahead. Alec and I will just chill.
Because clearly you brought up the Reddit thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool. It's like my Vincero watch is really a.
They're not sponsoring this
Sorry.
one.
They're not, but that survived to
No,
fall
but-
into a pool, which is pretty cool.
They're not supposed to be waterproof, but this one specifically was in the situation.
Oh.
So we had the stuff going on with the Reddit. We did an entire mukbang stream about this. Really just a drawn out conversation. But I wanted to get back to Reddit really quick.
Oh.
I know, Brett. That's really what you're here for. Is the
That's
Reddit
why I
comment.
came on the podcast.
So I've never been one to sit and scour. Is that the right word I should use? So
I have to hear the
Scour.
rest of your sentence to know.
the deep lore of the Reddit, and to the point where I don't go there. I never went on there every single day, but I did check Reddit's, or I did check our Reddit specifically, Couch Up Reddit, occasionally for different videos, just to see what the comments are like, specifically in stuff that I put a lot of effort into, just bigger ideas. But generally speaking, there used to be a lot of just sort of shit posts on Reddit and memes and things like that, which I thought were funny, but that's not the reason why I would go on Reddit myself. So this whole last 2 weeks, where the conversation I feel like has mainly been about Reddit, I just wanted to give some context as to why at least I personally never took it as seriously, because I just feel like I never went on there to have serious discussions. I just never thought our Reddit was a place for serious discussions. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I have had some time to go over the few posts with the hundreds and hundreds of comments that you guys have put out since our last, we'll call it controversy. And it kind of sucks, because it's it's not something that I want our community to be, is to have, you know, people pretty much go at each other, because I feel like there was a side of people that were just trying to, you know, basically, lack of a better term, white knight everything that we were saying, and then there was the people that just wanted to, you know, basically see us burn in hell. And having that together in like one, forum post is probably not the most productive thing you could possibly do. But going back to that, I do appreciate everyone that has put effort into supporting our ideas and trying to actually give the constructive criticism for the content that we do. I think that anyone that's genuinely just trying to help, obviously we have nothing but appreciation for that. At least I can speak for myself. Maybe Alec, you know,
I'm on the same camp.
hates constructive criticism or something.
Hate constructive? No.
I don't know. You maybe seem like that type of guy that just can't take a no for an answer. You know, always gets his way. Daddy pays his bills, gets him out of jail.
Sound a lot like a Reddit now.
Don't meme on us.
I'm just okay.
There's no memeing on this podcast.
So that's what I want to say. So just thank you guys for trying to help as much as you can. You know, we've always, since the start, we've always just done stupid things or just things that we thought were fun. So it was never meant to be like, well, how will this gauge with the audience of 19 to 25-year-olds in like the space of the internet? You know what I mean? That's why we meme on demonetization, but the truth is, if I feel like we were trying to be more catering towards a certain demo, we'd probably really be like doing like surveys and polls and like trying to like see what like the next hot thing is. But I really always liked the vibe of the channel, which was just, we're just trying to have fun and doing stuff. And sorry if, you know, we make people upset in the process. Obviously, it's not what we want to do. That's why when we had the mukbang stream, I think we were trying to be transparent. And again, I can only speak for myself, but trying to be transparent with you guys, have like an honest conversation. Kind of spiraled out a little bit. I think we should have had some more planning as to how we were going to like hit up certain topics, but honestly, having your mouth burning and having to read thousands of people talking at once, again, not the best way to go about having discussion. So that's just my take on it. Again, apologies if you know, we said things we didn't mean, or we said things that seemed problematic. It's not what the channel is for. The channel is just to, you know, do stupid shit. So yeah, then I guess that's my final take on I guess in cap whatever, fuck it, summarizing the Reddit situation. So keep on posting and we'll keep seeing and upvoting those sick memes. Keep them coming.
You want me to give my final word on
I
this?
feel like you have a final word, which is why you know, I'm not gonna.
I don't have to say anything. Just chill.
Well,
I'm in a much. You would be shocked probably to know that, mentally speaking, just being away from some of the fighting pits has kind of helped. Just helped feeling like.
Yeah.
And even though obviously the news has not been particularly great, and even when I already thought the news wasn't great, you know, I'm not actively upset about anything, really, I would say. I think as far as the subreddit's concerned, and I guess if you'll indulge me on this, since we started, I don't think there's been anyone who has been more actively listening on behalf of this channel than me. And you can feel free to stop me if I'm wrong, but...
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Right, which is why I wanted you to say something, because I feel like me going from the stance of like, hey, I checked the Reddit here and there, I see some of the memes, I'll go and like read the comments from a video that I had a lot of involvement in. I feel like that's totally different from you actively being on there, constantly answering questions, updating people, you know. And so that's why I wanted you to particularly talk about how you feel now that you've I think you said you took a break from posting some of the stuff because it's just getting too out of
I mean,
control, man.
it's just good to not pay attention. I'm not, it's not like I'm back or anything, but since we started for the last 3 years, I would say I've seen probably 96% of Reddit posts. Like maybe there's a few days where like I was traveling, I didn't see stuff, but generally speaking, I would see every single thing, and I would respond to almost anything that people had a question about or people would tag me in. It was sort of just my go-to. I do that on my own Twitter. I run our Twitter, the Cow Chop Twitter. And it's always sort of been my mentality that if you take time out of your day to ask me a question or tag me in a merch photo or tell me a personal anecdote about Cow Chop, whatever, I'm going to make time. There's a different cat. It's a black cat. I'm going to make time out of my day to at least acknowledge it so that you know, like, okay, I'm not just shooting shit out into the void, never to be heard from, right? Like, I'll at least like it so you know that I saw it, or I'll respond, I'll answer your question, da-da-da-da. For 3 years, I would say I've been doing, look, I'm not looking for a pat in the back. I'm just framing the context of this conversation. Been doing most of that. It's not because it's my job. It's not like, you know, on my job requirements list, it's like, pull the car over so you can finish a conversation on Reddit about 4 hymns. Like all the birthday posts and wish someone a happy birthday. And in no way, shape, or form was that ever something that's like, dude, it's your job. You have to do it. That's just my mentality with the community, wanting everybody to feel like, okay, like, you're valuable, you're heard.
How much involvement does Rooster Teeth have in how you coordinate
0
your posts?
Zero. Rooster Teeth, and I feel like this is still continually a misconception. Rooster Teeth does not give one fuck about the day-to-day operations of cowchop.com, okay?
Nor should they, honestly.
Why would they?
It's not.
We're not owned by them. We work together. When it's time to talk about merch, I get on the phone call and I go, we want these shirts. When it's time to talk about RTX, I go, yes, let's do a panel, let's not. We're doing this and this. Other than that, there is 0 oversight. They don't care. None of our controversies, there's not something they're interested in. It's not interesting. It doesn't matter. So when sometimes I'll get linked to posts where they're like, well, Rooster Teeth took a real PR black eye when those guys got evicted. It's just like, that's partly what upsets me, I think, about.
Yeah, I feel like the posts, because
you linked me to a subreddit drama. First of all, imagine being that invested in subreddit drama that you hang out on a subreddit for subreddit drama.
There's a subreddit drama, and that's when I was like really starting to dive into like, oh man. The problem with Reddit just in general is that once there's a general opinion that people can vote to the top and just say, hey, this is how I feel, and everyone's like, yeah, pretty much this. There's a whole bunch of other sub-comments that follow, and 90% of the time, those are just awful. So with the subreddit, there's a subreddit drama that took pretty much, it's like the telephone game where they took what they heard through our stream on our Reddit to their Reddit, and then through someone else that knew, they put up this totally different picture where it's like, they were like, the black eye thing with the Rooster Teeth. There's this person that was pushing this narrative that Cow Chop, when we got evicted, Rooster Teeth took a PR plunder because of the damages we've done to the property, and they really helped pay us, or they've helped pay off the landlords and stuff like that. And again, to Brett's point, 0 involvement on that. So
do you know how much money us getting evicted was made for Rooster Teeth? We didn't have any shows on First until we got evicted, and Rooster Teeth swept down, was like, hey, how about you drive First subs and get some shows on there? So if anything, they made hella money and are still profiting off of those First subscribers for us getting evicted. So
and
don't talk about shit you don't have information for. But that
was just some of the posts. So again, it wasn't like it wasn't everyone making their own like dark theories about, you know, the inner workings of Cow Chop and like the evil schemes that we pull off. But just some of that stuff, like you're reading it and you're like, okay, I can take this section and apply it to like, you know, the next video idea or something like that. But then there's this one where Cow Chop is literally Satan, and you know, we hold like I don't know, KKK rallies and like, you know,
they're bad
on the
people.
Weekend or something.
They've always seemed like bad people. These are like Rooster Teeth fans. I'm like, what? Hello? Yeah, well, you've seen us at the same conventions.
Yeah.
Whatever. So jumping back. No, Rooster Teeth has no oversight in that. It's just literally just me being like, okay, that's the, you know, I'm not pre-exhausted from years of fandom, you know, exposure and subreddits, and you know, like I was there for some of the End of Creature Hub stuff, but like generally speaking, it was a fresh approach. And so for 3 years, I've read every post, for good or bad. Where, you know, from the big pussy Trevor threads to the I don't like Alec threads to the Lindsay's not funny threads to the toxic work environment threads to the secret theories about how the company works and who's leaving next threads. I've absorbed it all for good or for better, right? So I think it's important to also realize that when I respond to things now, it's like Clockwork Orange, where my eyes have been propped open for 3 years, absorbing everything, good and bad, that is seen. So if there are times where it seems like I'm fed up, it's not because like, wow, glass jaw over here can't take it. It's much more like, holy shit, some of you guys are so exhausting.
Well, can I bring up what the point I saw with I think the overall whatever topics and stuff was that it seemed like the discussion was, you know, obviously they didn't want the Ice Poseidon video going up. And then it shifted over to we handled it really bad. So that was the main criticism
that overshadowed the original thing, in my opinion.
Which was what came from the mukbang stream, because that was the criticism, was that we don't handle constructive criticism. You don't handle constructive criticism. You know, the moment you're blasted on Reddit, you're out of there, dude, real quick.
Right.
That's the vibe.
Which is also just not true. I mean, again, like looking back again to the Four Hymns controversy, where like Rooster Teeth, Bruce, me, everybody collectively has to take the PRL and wade into the fucking hordes because people don't want, you know, that product being sold on the shows that they like. They feel attacked. And the thing about Reddit is that you're not, very rarely are you engaging another person like debate style and like an exchange of informations. Reddit is like, if you have the unpopular opinion, it's 30 versus 1. You'll start a conversation with one person, get like 3 down, realize suddenly you're talking to a different username because somebody else just inserted them in the conversation. So like for Hymns, for example, I'm having like literally pulling my car over to have 7, you know, I'm getting notifications on 7 different active threads. People, it's a feedback loop, so people are upvoting shared opinions while simultaneously downvoting the unpopular opinion, so that even your points that you're making in your own defense eventually will just not be seen. And then, you know, so I'll be like, well, come talk about it on Twitter, like I did in this last time, when they're like, well, he wants to go to Twitter and talk to his yes men. It's like, I don't.
To be fair, like to the Twitter point, I feel like Twitter is as memey as I think Twitter is. I feel like having a Twitter conversation generally is better. Just because, you, like you said, you can see the person. There's not like this giant like loop of people like intersecting themselves. So you can't even see the original person's point. You have to like actually physically scroll up while like also being, you know, like blasted like 14 times by other people. So Twitter's just a better place for that type of stuff.
Yeah, and you have like a real presence there. Like at least there's like a picture and a profile associated with it. Like in theory, like people understand who's involved in this conversation. And I don't have yes men on Twitter any more than I have yes men on Reddit. I think there's people that are either agreeing with the debate or not. But in this, I talked to tons of people on Twitter who all actively were not agreeing with me, whether that was like active public conversations or DMs. Like just by virtue of a one-on-one conversation, we share each other's points. And even if at the end we're not agreeing with each other, usually it's like, okay, well, cool, it was good talking to you. Thanks for letting me vent. Okay, same, da-da-da. And you feel like, wow, I've achieved something. I've never been at the end of one of those Reddit things. And at the Four Hymns, I guess at the very end of it, I felt like maybe I had somehow, you know, after hours of conversations, like placated the general thing. But it's not like I felt good about it or like that involvement of time or whatever. So I don't have like a safe space I retreat to other than just not paying attention to any of that. But some of the stuff that bugs me is like the implication that it's like, well, it's your job to sit here and just, I don't know, absorb all of that. It's like all of my involvement and transparency and time spent trying to address things is just like volunteer time.
I think that's what kind of sucks about all of this, honestly, is like going back to the start of the channel and getting people involved and having their time be used to, you know, further the content. Is like in Brett's situation, it was me saying, hey dude, can you, like, you've had more knowledge on like this industry and the space in California, and all this, can you help out? And him saying yes. At no point was it, hey, I'm gonna hire you specifically, or we're gonna hire you specifically to do Twitter PR, to do Reddit PR, to respond to people's Patreons posts, to respond to pretty much all the emails, including the fan mail stuff, you know. And so when you're getting, when the you know, conversation is Brett's bad at his job, it kind of sucks, like, for just everyone. I think it's because at that point it's like, well, what does it even mean to like actually come in the channel, like go on the channel and hang out and just have a good time when like you're just being blasted for trying to help, you know. So that's what's like. It's not the same job where you see like you'd have with like Funhouse or Rooster Teeth, where these guys are you know, directly, that is their job. Like what they're doing specifically is their job, and they are being hired. So when you have the criticism towards Rooster Teeth, they can sit back and say, well, that is something that person is solely responsible for. Where I feel like you're responsible for so many things that when you're specifically, I guess, having not fun conversations about like one certain role, it just really gets out of hand because there's so many different things involved, you know, especially with a business or a channel like this. So
Yeah, it's just twofold, right? Like not having the benefit of the doubt in those situations where it's like, okay, I'm someone who's invested countless hours in terms of like assuring the community that I'm listening to them, that I care about them. I'm the only person here who's like mailed people birthday cards on their fucking birthday. People mail us stuff to get signed, who like rounds it up, mails it out. Like if I didn't give a fuck, it would be super easy to not give a fuck.
I think you do give a fuck, and that's why I feel like you're as so like, I guess not upset. I don't want to use the word.
You could say wound up, because sometimes I get really tired. Sometimes I'm like, fuck you, and sometimes it's just sad. It just makes you depressed, and you're like, what was the point of any of that if? And that's the other thing about PR versus a normal person doing it. I think is like PR and Reddit's expectation of someone following up on a perceived controversy is full compliance. It's, I've invested this time and this energy into this fandom, and I expect the Venn diagram of how we both view the world to overlap completely. I want 100% compliance. If I view this as problematic, it's time for you to take the L and apologize and let that be it.
I feel like we took the L on Reddit, dude. Either way.
Well, in the course of that live, well, yeah, I mean, sure, absolutely. But the point being is that, like, when you're dealing with people in real life, even like amongst your friends or something, your mentality of what represents different things does not overlap 100%. And having those expectations for things just because you've invested the time in them can be a little unfair. And to the point where it's that, you know, you viewing something problematic and me knowing that it doesn't represent the same thing to us and that it didn't mean that. And that was so frustrating about that live stream conversation, was by trying to provide context for why we might be viewing a situation differently, and instead being met with like, no, you're not getting it. It's very like two sides of the same coin. So like you're on a live stream, you're doing mukbang, so people who don't even care about this controversy have something slightly entertaining to watch.
And there was I will also say to that point, there is a good amount of people that have messaged us and said, just want to put that out there, said like, you know, this is fine, like we're going to support you guys as like content, like we're not as invested into this issue as like a lot of other people are. So I hear that too, you know, it just
dogs barking at some cats.
But I just want to point out that I do see you guys, and I appreciate you guys' emails. Obviously, like we don't want to sit there, not a drama channel, so not sit there and like talk about the same sort of repetitive issue over and over again. I just want to put a final pin on this so people don't think that we abandoned the conversation altogether or ran away from it, as some people have assumed we did because we stopped posting in those threads or stopped looking at those threads. So it's just the final pin, and again, appreciate everyone that had good conversations with us about all this stuff. But back to what
you're doing a victory lap on what you were saying. I appreciate you guys. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm voicing. This is my final.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. I'm not trying to.
That's the PR angle. Is like,
I just don't want it to also be like, well, everything Brett said was fine, but also there was some resentment in his voice.
Yeah, there is. I mean, look, but look, I'm saying there is resentment. I'm saying I'm entitled to have resentment because I'm a real human being.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, don't threaten me with a good time.
Damn.
So I'm still not on there. I don't think Reddit is a good place to have those types of conversations. I appreciate the effort people have when they think they're helping, but I don't want to read 7-paragraph-long theories on the secret future of cat. Like, it just, none of it is very helpful to having that morale to do whatever. Because I'll tell you, in the direct aftermath of that live stream where we were trying to, you know, engage and be funny and meme back with the chat is just a pure wall of like memery, and so it's like, is this person serious? Is this not? Okay, let's meet them halfway in the middle, and then be perceived as like, well, they weren't taking it seriously, and have like zero benefit of the doubt. Like, I'm not trying to play victim here. I'm just like. Having empathy for other people is not like crazy. And I have empathy for the people that are voicing their concerns, but I feel like in those moments, people don't want to have empathy. They want to downvote a response and hear their own voice amplified. And that's my contention, is that like, I'm not here to get ganged up on. I want to have those one-on-one conversations and actually hear a voice, another human voice that's like my voice, and have people have perspective on what we're saying. Because otherwise, what's the point of any of it? Like, okay, I ignore the thread on Reddit and we just move on, and you know, the majority of the YouTube audience is none the wiser and nobody cares, right? Like I would say a majority of our population doesn't read the Twitter, doesn't go on the subreddit, you know, that's just whatever. So I'm opting in because I care. I don't not care. I've absorbed criticism on every conceivable thing that you think could be criticized over 3 years, and I've listened to it all and I've read it all. I'm not on there occasionally. I was on there every day. And going forward, however I choose to approach it, like, understand that it's not like, oh, you snapped your fingers and drove Brett up the wall because he couldn't take it. It's like, there's been plenty of things that have that I've weathered over the years, and so just try to have a little historical context. And I will always meet you in the middle and at least have a real conversation with you. But I'm not gonna just put myself in situations where it's 90 negative downvotes or whatever. Like, no one wants to even hear an opposing voice. Because if that's the case, just talk to yourselves. And the subreddit can be a place where you only talk to each other, and that's fine. If you want the secret garden of community conversation, cool, banish me, and I won't go there. But if the point is like, okay, I'm gonna be a part of this, and we're gonna treat you like a human being, and try to at least meet you in the middle, then cool. And that's not a victim complex either way. That's just literally, I'm just telling you, like, it's not worth the mental energy to like be depressed as a result of like 2 hours on Reddit. Yeah, it's not where I'm at in my life. So I'm just gonna be real with you about that. And I'm not threatening anything, I'm not saying anything, it's fine. But you guys can set the tone, and that will just determine. But I'll always be on Twitter, and you can always hit me up, and whatever part of my brain requires me to acknowledge someone else reaching out will continue. So that's my final thing. I don't even really feel like I'm trying to dive deep back into the controversy itself. I would like to reset the environment here so that at least I had a chance to defend myself, I guess, or to say where I'm coming from, and that's it. And that's my final word. I've always made fun of the subreddit, so that wasn't really motivated by like extra salt.
Right. If people want to continue the conversation, should it be just more like just tweet at you with just general thoughts on things? Or
sure, I don't know. I think maybe everybody's collectively tired of hearing about this at this point.
Right.
Obviously, we have brand new things to talk about that we haven't even gotten
that's
to.
True. No, the timing of all this has really just like been really fun, dude. I feel like I'm back. I'm like really back in it, dude. Like in the fucking trenches. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, we got this shit going on over here. Granted, I caused all of it, but then all this is happening too at the same time.
It's also it is kind of worth noting that Brett didn't really have a huge part to play in any of that stuff. That's what kind of sucks. I feel bad for you because you got a brunt of most of it, but you were not really a part of it at all. So it was kind of strange to me that so much of I'm not saying the hate should have gone to you or anyone.
Because that comes back to the whole like, hey, we're supposed to be friends, and we're just working on projects that we think are like creative. So if Brett sees me working on something and sees that like obviously people didn't think I made the right decision, be as it may, he can jump in and say like, hey, just want to say this is my thoughts on it. It's not supposed to be like what's the best PR angle of this? And that's why when I got quoted out of this saying like we're not a PR channel, that's what I mean by that. It's just we're not thinking what the best angle is to approach stuff. It's just we're people and make mistakes or whatever and kind of move on, right? And we try to back our friends up when things like that happen. Yeah. So just like I would back him up with the hymns thing, right? That's not something that Brett went out of his way to get to specifically seek because that's the type of ads we wanted, right? It's just a general. It was just on a list of ads.
I also wasn't. It's not like I was like, hey, I'm gonna get this thing. An internal meme between you, me, and James has been like, oh, Brett doesn't. Brett says I couldn't do something. It's like and people seem to misconstrue that. Like someone DM'd my girlfriend and was like, your boyfriend's ruining the channel. It's like, dude, I let these two do what they want and make the creative decisions they want, so they feel creatively fulfilled because I'm just one of the 3 co-owners in a business. Okay, I don't stop in and go.
I don't think you've stopped anything. Like realistically ever. The only thing you've stopped is like me trying to get a shower installed in the warehouse. But other than that, like I feel like I've had more times where I was just more like really sketched out by like an idea or something that
you and James have intervened on each other's ideas in a level that is nowhere compared to me. I just kind of
James and I have always had like different versions of things, but I think that's what made like the channel what it is today anyway. So I don't think there was ever like I don't think to that point it's just that was just a natural thing where he'd have an idea, I might be like, well, I think this might be better if this, or I might have an idea and he might say, well, I think it might suffer from that or whatever, might need this. So that's just always been a thing. Yeah, just trying to clarify what you're saying so there's not like a constructive differences conversation that's like being had,
and then the next phase I would love that. I know it's super hot. I have no idea how long we've been talking, but I want to go to our second sponsor.
Sure.
And still keeping the lights on here.
Sure.
Robinhood, baby. You know what Robinhood is?
I know what Robinhood is.
So do you.
Absolutely.
It's an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commission-free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, so you can trade stocks and keep all your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. You can view easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections, such as 100 most popular, or like female CEOs, whatever stuff you want to like invest in. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Guys, you both use Robinhood. What do you like about it?
I like that they, recently they made weed stock options. Weed stock, cannabis stock, it's getting big, guys. I'm telling you. Invest now and invest early, which is the same thing, but invest big as well. That was my second point, because the other two were the same. So that's what I like.
It's just really easy to use, and you also get free stocks. If you refer people, you get like 1 free random stock.
That's true, too.
I'm currently checking my Snapchat stock that I got for free. And
What are we up to?
You still have Snapchat stock?
I do have. I have one whole Snapchat stock. I'm saving it for a rainy day.
Snapchat. Okay, go ahead.
If at any point I'm just like I need $10 immediately.
Okay.
Or depends on where it's at. Then at least I know I can do that. It's doing okay. It's doing better, but I did get it for free by referring somebody, so that was pretty interesting. But it is very easy to use. It's great.
Let's do. Wow. Robinhood is giving listeners of CCTV a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at cctvpodcast.robinhood.com. That's cctvpodcast.robinhood.com. Get yourself a free stock and then start investing like a person who lives in 2019. You know?
Wall Street Wolf, dude.
Yeah.
Wall Street Wolf.
That's how he started, you know?
Jordan Belmont.
Belmont. Make some better decisions than he did, maybe. I am glistening with sweat.
Yeah, it's pretty toasty.
The black jeans and beanie combo was perhaps, I don't know where the sun would be.
Bro,
but
like
now
the first time I wore, granted I don't have a t-shirt under this, but
a jean jacket and a hoodie.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just going for it. It's been kind of cool lately, so it's nice to have like actual sun. Granted, it's literally burning you to a crisp.
Tony's taking his jacket
Tony's
off.
in the shade and he's peeling off
Taking
too.
it off a little bit.
Wearing that new merch though.
Also rocking the new merch, yeah.
Yeah, yee.
Nice. Yeah. Shout out to our sponsors, dude. Do we have?
That's it. No, that's it.
Okay.
That's it. It's time.
Oh.
What are you guys making the sounds for? What's that about?
We're just, I don't
Hard
know.
to talk about, I guess.
Sweet.
easy way.
Well, I'm glad that we could talk about just you, Brett, for a sec, as like a person that like is here at the warehouse, has been my friend for years, and how there's like such a lack. I felt like such a lack of us trying to be like professional on levels to the point where when we have these conversations, it's like, I don't know, just really, really difficult sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is why James leaving, obviously it's going to be a big controversial thing in terms of like what the channel is going to look like, and I don't want to downplay that in any way. We started the channel together. I think I remember James going up to me back when we used to live together, and it was the first time he brought up the idea. He said I came up with the name for Couch Up, but he was the first one to bring up the idea that we like do this project together, going off of like the streams we used to do over at the Creature Hub. Things like that. So this goes like way back in the day when we decided to like start this project together. So him not being a part of it, again, I can't really downplay that and just be like, hey, the next 3 years, guys, is going to be awesome. Wait till we get all these board games and these celebrity guests. Because I think the reality of it is people probably want to see this project in a certain way. Probably the same way they did from the start, especially those that have been following around for a long time. So I don't really want Couch Up to end on like this death note where people really resent it and they start feeling like something must have happened for the workplace to shift so drastically. I feel like there's a number of things that were involved with it, but really want to point out that it was no one here that's still here right now that had anything to do with any of this. not even like the guys that worked here before. That includes, you know, Anna, Trevor, Joe, Asher. All these guys were a part of this project from the very start, and I appreciate them for that. But even more importantly, the guys that are here right now, like Alec, who just, you know, came here just within the year and has taken over just about every single show. Went from being like the new intern guy to just being like pretty much featured, almost like a YouTuber yourself.
Well, people still think I'm an intern, but that's okay.
Well, I think that's just a bit. That's just the bit we've always said as new people are interns. Right.
That's all right.
Some people don't want it to be a bit.
Right. Brett,
Big
who
pussy.
we initially wanted to go out to Los Angeles, that was just something that James and I had talked about forever. That was back when we were part of the Creatures, that we discussed Los Angeles because we just thought there would be more opportunity there for like a YouTube group. And Brett helped us do all that. He was with us even from the Creatures days to help us turn Couch up into, you know, an actual channel and get a production team and help with salary, because God forbid us as like edgy and as like, you know, whatever we feel like we are, payroll and stuff is, I think, a little bit beyond what we actually comprehend and how much effort it takes. So there's just no way I could do the things that I want to do on Couch Up for the past 3 years if Brett wasn't there to help facilitate all the email chains and all the business aspects of it. Like I said, it comes to payroll and accountants and just getting back to Rooster Teeth with stuff and like the talent stuff, the agency stuff that we've been dealing. I don't know if I can mention that or not, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's official news, but we signed with CAA. You probably saw Kriken's announcement recently. Elspeth Eastman also signed. There's a lot of good people under that umbrella, and even James not being with it, he's still repped. It's a whole thing. That's his whole other conversation.
You've essentially helped get Couch Up a talent agency. So if we had decided to pursue shows and movies and books or whatever, there was an avenue we could have done that. And yeah, I just don't think who could have helped us with that. And further beyond is the guys that are still here, like Matt and Tony here. Matt's doing the camera, Tony's doing the audio. I mean, that's what actually keeps the videos out. So, yeah, I just don't know where we'd be without all these guys still involved and still giving their 100 every single day. So while I can't pretend that, you know, James being gone is going to do nothing whatsoever, I also can't pretend that these guys being involved with the channel up until now doesn't count for anything, because I feel like it really does, and it really should. And like I said, while I'm thankful for everyone that was here, we're still keeping the operation going. I call it operation. Realistically, it is just a YouTube channel with a lot of memes in it. But our plan, and I'll let you guys give your visions of things, but I feel like our plan is to just keep making videos. We got a certain deadline, which, as depressing as it is to talk about, guys, you know, all the dead channel memes, I feel like it's a little realistic, only because going back to my point with, I don't want the channel to just fizzle out and people having like bad vibes about it. I really want everyone that got a Couch Up tattoo to feel like they were part of something really cool all the way up until the end. And if that means that we're doing this just to make sure that when we started the channel, all of our obligations are met. I talked to Brett not too long ago about our bounties. We had all these bounty goals when we first got out to Los Angeles. Which
Rooster Teeth bounties, if you don't know what that means.
Right,
yeah.
Rooster Teeth bounties, but they were goals essentially. If you guys help fund our move, you know, we do all these things. And realistically, we did all those, right? We did all the obligations and stuff. We had other goals like doing collabs with people that are around here. Funhouse, Kriken, just name a few. Aaron from the Game Grumps who did a CCTV with. I plan on doing that a little bit more. I want to get some more people down here. Over the past few months, if not like the past year, I've had other people hit me up and say, hey, I actually watch Couch Up, believe it or not. And I've been trying to reach those people and get them in the warehouse, so you might see more of that as well. And we'll just keep doing, you know, the same old crazy shit, dude. I've just filmed something, some new bit show with Alex, bit show I call it, because there's a show, a lot of bits. But generally speaking, I just want everyone to have fun, chill, have a good time, dude. And hopefully you guys can enjoy that content, you know. I still feel like it's the same vibe. Obviously not the same people exist, which is just really sucks, and I do miss those guys. I wish they could have stuck around more.
It's getting louder. Okay.
And there's lawnmowers and dogs and birds out here, so this is just about the worst. setting to have this conversation with, but also I feel like very appropriate for what this channel is. So
If we need to move around the side of the house, we can. Let us know if it becomes unbearable.
I can hear you guys.
Okay.
okay.
But as long as they don't mind listening to it.
Forgive the lawnmower sounds. If Tony, who's listening to audio, says it's bad, we'll move around the house. But I think we're getting to our words on the matter, and then we'll fly off.
Just the final stretch. I like best. You know, obviously James has been my friend for years. I want him to succeed. I'm glad he's doing great on Twitch. I could see him not wanting to keep on injuring himself and not being part of a constant disaster every single week. And so I respect that. I hope his move to California worked out, you know, because I mean both of us are here now. I have my own thoughts on Los Angeles and stuff, but I think I'm getting used to it, and I think he's found a home as well. Now there's like a vacuum cleaner.
You want to do a quick move? Can we take a camera and Matt and just bounce around with the sound field recorder, just so we're in the corridor here away from this?
It's kind of insane, dude.
Locations.
That's crazy. That's CCTV. When was the last time we had to get up during a CCTV? Oh, it's much better over here.
Oh, yeah.
God, I am
sweatier than I thought it
sweaty.
was. Oh,
Yeah,
my
I got up.
goodness.
Yuck, dude.
Vacuum's gone.
Vacuum's gone. We'll take it. Oh, ha ha ha. We're like moving up the side of the house to where we are now.
We're following.
We can go inside this little corridor. You want to do that?
Sure.
This is gonna be funny. They just left the door open so we could use the bathroom. Where is it? It's on the other side, right? Okay, let's pop inside real quick, guys.
What the fuck?
What better metaphor for making plans than this? Oh, still loud in here. And it's a little bit cooler. All right, well, let's just pop in. This is our life, dude. This is couch hop.
Is this cat food?
This is, oh, she owns the cats.
I'm sure he feeds the cats, one of the two, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
one or the other. How's it sound in here? Not great.
Have we moved closer to the back? I think we moved closer to
You think
the
it's
back.
worse? Well, because we kind of went around the side of the house.
Well, we see the lawnmower or the vacuum cleaner at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's kind of our options, I guess.
Is it in the house?
No, it's out there.
Yeah, the window, there's like screens everywhere. We're just wandering around this person's house. They're not even here. Okay, here, we'll just try our best to finish our thoughts here. Go ahead.
It'll work. Okay, this is, what the fuck is this? Yeah, so we're gonna keep doing stuff. We're gonna keep making more videos. We're gonna do some crazy shit this year. I really want to blow up the warehouse, like with just fucking TNT or dynamite or something. Like, not even memeing. Something like that is probably going to happen by the time that we have our date. That's the goal we had set at even the start of the year. James was also part of that conversation where we talked about how this was going to be the real epitome year of Couch Up. So I really want to make sure we stick to that word and make sure you guys are really happy with the content going forward. So thanks.
Yeah. We've had months of content without James, inadvertently. The only difference is now that the memes of James is dead and he's not coming back are real.
James
That's a little brutal.
James is dead. Chandler is dying.
Yeah.
Brett is mean.
Brett is mean. I can be mean a little bit.
Brett is dying.
I'm dying physically, maybe, perhaps. But look, we still enjoy it. Hopefully that comes across. I know that's another thing that people like to say is like, you could tell they weren't enjoying themselves in the video. I think if we all legitimately weren't enjoying it, that would be a more serious conversation. But I still have fun making videos with my friends. I obviously wasn't expecting an abrupt departure from James, but it's not like he hasn't talked about retirement for a long time. So whether or not that helps us, we still have to, you know, fulfill our obligations. And that's, I guess, maybe the real moment where, is it an operation or a YouTube channel? It's an operation because we have people who work here, we're paying bills, and we have you guys who have invested time and personal energy, and we do care about honoring that. And as long as the videos are still funny, hopefully we can, when we end the channel, be like, wow, what a crazy 3, 4 years that was. Like, you'll have good memories, right? Not like, cool, they dragged it out for another 5 years and it got shitty and I hate it, everything about it, memes for life. Ha! So, if you liked 2019 content so far, it's gonna keep on rolling, baby. Just like the leaves. Alec, what do you got?
Yeah, I said it before, but I'll say it again. There's still people here who are working hard and they care about the channel.
Speak up more. Yeah, speak up more, I think.
Sorry. There are still people at the channel who want to do good and want to ride it out as much as we can, really. And hopefully we still put out some good stuff. Past few months, like you said, has already been inadvertently without James, so hopefully it's not too bad going further on. But we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And, you know, a lot of the issues that people have and grievances does stem from the fact that there's no way for people to really know what happens behind the scenes, nor is there any way that we can really exemplify that unless we spend an hour talking about the exact inner workings of this.
Which is what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And even then, it will get misconstrued, so.
Yeah. Just bear in mind, guys, we're all human here. We're trying our best, for better or for worse. And we make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. So, you know, try to take it easy on us if you can. But hopefully you guys stick around and have some fun for however much time we have left.
Did you drop out of college for this?
I didn't drop out of college.
Okay.
I didn't drop out of college. I didn't drop out of college.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, anyways, we're not depressed. Please don't make us depressed. We will try not to make you depressed. And also, let's have some fun together. Okay. Live from a fucking back room of CCTV, couch hop taking an L from life. I mean, why take it from anywhere else? You know, we got the big picture here. Wowee.
Sweet. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Hope that answers some stuff, dudes. I'm sure people will have more questions. Like I said, you can ask us things on Twitter and email and things of that nature.
Email.
People are gonna probably send us resumes after this and a bunch of fucking memes on Twitter. So that's fine too. Send us all that. Hopefully we'll get out of here shortly. Right now, actually, because it's getting too hot.
Planet Earth.
Yeah, Planet Earth as well. And we'll see you guys in the next bright edition of CCTV, where we talk about Brett leaving.
Oh boy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Look out, Omni. You know, a few years back, I won a brand new Cadillac in that Omni. Last Thanksgiving, Brad and I won the national tag titles. Now we're talking about world-class tag championships coming to the Omni. Coming from all over. The best that Japan has to offer. World Championship night. Dragon Shy, is that what they call it? Dragon Shy match. They got a little of everything that night.